Listen up, liberals. You may not like it, but this is the peak male form. Yep, the latest book from Pathfinder is here, and I am so excited to finally have this as part of my horde. For those who don't know me, I absolutely love dragons. I was a kid whose parents would always bring back like one of those dragon statue souvenirs whenever they went somewhere. Hell, I like them so much that sometimes I even am one. And clearly I'm not the only one who loves them, as we have an entire book dedicated to them, presenting the Draconic Codex, and this might just be my favourite book from Pathfinder to date. We have so much lore for all the dragons, their histories, origins, and even information on how each dragon differs from one another, and I'm so excited. So let's break down what we got step by step. The book starts with its section on dragon physiology, teaching us the entire life cycle of dragons, how they grow, and then delves into their shared biology, and how they function as creatures. And I just love this kind of biology lore because it's that knowledge that helps players come up with wild plans to deal with draconic threats. Know your enemy, and actually having something the DM can give the players is fantastic. It then goes into the lore of the different groups of dragons. Arcane, dragons with deep connection to the magic of the world. Divine, dragons deeply entwined with the various planes of existence. Occult, dragons who source their power from the unknown. And primal, dragons who are one with their respective elements, commanding parts of the world itself. Each of these sections have plenty of lore and details on how they operate and their own customs and cultures they tend to have. We then get to the section on the dragon gods, explaining how the dragons came to be and the history that shaped the current world and the dragon's place within. Each dragon god has their own section, alongside all the information you need to worship said dragon, and any benefits that might bring. Using Dahak as an example because his art goes so hard and Deathwing wishes he could be this slay. The Endless Destruction, whose areas of concern include destruction, greed, and wicked dragons. Devotees must uphold the edicts of killing dragons, destroying things at your whim, and studying past disasters. They also have the following anathema, actions that they must not do lest they earn the ire of their god. These are sparing foes after you've chosen to kill them, forgiving slights against you, and preventing the destruction of things that cannot be saved. And obeying all of that gains you some spells for your clerics. We then get to the Field Guy and Beastiary, which is just chef's kiss, perfect for some absolutely fantastic battles against some incredible foes. It also gives you some fantastic advice on how to add them to your campaign, and set them up as allies and adversaries. And this thing is beefy. There are so many dragon types now, like over 30. Clearly I have to go over all of them, and there's only one way to perfectly list all of them. Okay, let's do this. Smash. 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 Now, onto the bit I know people are most excited about, the new player options. And whilst we mentioned before the dragon gods all have their own parts for clerics, they aren't the only class getting some love. Draconic Bloodline Sorcerers options have been massively expanded, being able to choose from any of the before mentioned dragons to be their magical sugar daddy. That means they now have like a whopping 40 plus options to choose from. Now playable are the Dragonets, which could be described as the dragon version of a house cat. These funny little guys are in fact a formidable force when taking up the adventurer's mantle, and it's always fun to have another tiny player option in the fray. This ancestry comes with multiple heritages, including Fey Dragonet, Homing Drake, House Drake, and Tidepool Dragonet. Each option changes how some of your ancestry feats will perform. For example, each one changes how the Dragonette breath feat functions in terms of AoE shape and damage type. I also have a fondness for the My Claws are Daggers, as it simply gives them a new unarmed attack option, and the idea of a tiny dragon flying around slapping the hell out of them is hilarious to me. We also get a new heritage for kobolds, with the Draconic Kobolds, giving them a shiny new coat closer to their dragon counterparts, including getting themselves a new breath attack and abilities that let you channel the powers of your draconic origins. Next up, we have some new options for the previously existing Dragonblood heritage. With the introduction of so many new dragon types, this naturally means Dragonbloods can now choose them to be their origins, with Aqueous, Summiting, and Terra Dragonblood feats to give them a new mastery of movement in their respective areas. A fave feat from this section is Tenacious Jaws, that when you latch onto your foe using an unarmed bite attack, you can make it way easier to blast a foe with your dragon breath. And finally, we have two new archetypes or dedications that our characters can take. First, the new Draconic Acolyte, which is honestly my fave new option from the book. As many have already described it, you are essentially a stand user but with a dragon. You get a draconic gift, a piece of dragon you've gained this power from, and using it you can manifest the powers in a variety of ways. The core part being a spectral dragon that powers the other abilities in the archetype and acts as almost a second body for yourself. And there's not a single dud ability in this thing, it's pure gold. But two of my personal top powers from are Draconic Fury, which lets you summon the claws of the dragon to make sweeping AoE attacks in front of you, slowly gaining in strength, and it's just such a cool concept. And the Hidden Horde ability, because who doesn't want to be a proper dragon with access to the horde on the go? And then we have the Drake Rider archetype, and this is exactly what it says on the tin. You form a bond with a drake who becomes your noble mount, and as you progress the bond, and you and your partner's abilities grow stronger. The ability from this section I gotta showcase is Strafing Breath. You and your dragon are coated in magical power and charge at your foes, dealing damage to all who are unlucky enough to be in your way. There are good for you new items in this book too, but rather than showing you any of the cool ones, I'm going to show you the one that got the biggest reaction out of me the first time reading through. I present to you the Anti-Dragon Barding. And I mean, what else can I really say? The pig's smug aura says, "Oh, what, you're a big powerful dragon? That's neat. I'm a pig with a spiked harness, what are you gonna do?" It knows it's safe. We also have a healthy helping of new spells, with my personal fave being Dragon Turret, a 10th level spell where you literally summon a massive tower with its own defense dragon that both benefits from the fact that it is in fact a big tower, that also can launch a devastating breath attack each turn. We then have our final new feature added, the Dragon Packs, and these are magical binding packs which you make with a dragon. They technically count as items and take an investiture slot. These can be very powerful, but they have rules that must be upheld, and can have devastating consequences if one breaks the pact. And these pacts are not to be taken lightly, tying the player and the dragon together till death do them part. Ah, how romantic! And that's the Draconic Codex, and I absolutely love it, but I do wish we had some more options for some of the other classes that had dragon options. Like, I think Dragon Instinct Barbarian could have used some expansion from this, but overall an extremely solid book. But what do you think about it? And which dragon do you want to smash the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video and want to stick around for more, feel free to like and subscribe. It's always appreciated. With all that said, I've been Deval, and I'll see you next time. Happy adventuring.